Hi, everybody. I wanted to put a little bit of a narration to this very short slide deck. It just has some season highlights from our rowing season. For those of you who are unable to make it to our end of season banquet, I just wanted to share this version of the highlight reel. It's really difficult to pick and choose what to highlight because so many amazing positive things happened this season. The first most amazing thing was we got Coach Todd back. I think everyone agrees that that was fantastic. So he and I have a lot of plans and a lot of ideas, and we're very much in agreement about important things that have to do with the success of our crew. So I think many of you who've been around for a few years understand that the program was only recently revitalized in the last 5 or 6 years, and each year we've been, I'll use one of my favorite phrases, tightening the screw on a lot of the important things that are critical to our success. Most of them are related to discipline and structure, but they're very critical to our success, and we are working very hard to continue to move the crew into a performance culture. Everyone benefits from that, and we have a lot of young leaders showing a lot of positive response to some of the changes that we've been incorporated. So this is a huge thing, and it really is a key factor in the success of the crew. So needless to say, we're going to keep doing it, and everyone will benefit. I have a short slide here, mostly because I ran out of space, where I've mentioned some highlights about 2K test performance. But the key thing to mention here is that everyone really did an excellent job this season of squeezing 2K times. Almost everyone in the crew, each time we sat down, would pull a new PR. Super glad I got that bell because it's getting used a lot. The only exceptions we generally would see is if someone was sick or injured. Other than that, I mean, lots of people would sit down and pull personal best after personal best. So, I've mentioned some highlights here, but everyone should be super proud. Yes, we have some sub 7-minute pullers on the men's side, but we have a bunch of younger men who have pulled between 7 and 7:30, and it's awesome. I mean, they're seriously on the road to being in this group next season. Our women, we have some women who are easily going to push below the 8-minute barrier and squeeze into that 7:30 range very, very quickly. So lots and lots of progress, and more than anything, I just appreciate the competitiveness. I appreciate, and Coach Todd and I both appreciate the good attitudes. We know this isn't something that's fun, but we like the zeal that you all show when you sit down at that erg and go for it. So super awesome results this year. Congrats to our class of 2025. We actually have 7 seniors that have graduated this year. Obviously, that'll leave a hole in the crew, but we're super proud of all of our seniors. Anthony has been recruited to Stetson, so he will definitely be rowing. And I know that there are a few people on this list that are interested in giving it a go. I think Nina is going to be sailing at Merchant Marine Academy, but everybody's got a super bright future, and I'm just really delighted to see the universities that this group are attending. Notable in this group are Ethan Kosnicki and Jack Martin. The two of them have actually been with the program since their freshman year. So we've had them for 4 years, and that might sound like a long time to you guys, but for us coaches, It flies by. So all of you will be missed. Congratulations. Kudos to a great season. I included this slide for a couple of reasons. I'm not really a big fan of racing eights because we're a small crew, but Coach Todd and I had a lot of conversation about it, and we thought, you know what? We've got a bigger group of men than women. We're about 2/3 men, 1/3 women. So we thought, let's give it a shot. Let's put eights out there, especially in the early season. And this was an interesting experiment. A couple things became obvious. First, in the state of Florida, the varsity men's eight is ridiculously competitive. Okay, and the big clubs obviously have a huge advantage because they have a big group to cull from to pick their 8 top rowers. These are the teams that put out a first varsity 8, second varsity 8, third varsity 8, fourth varsity 8. Obviously, we have the ability to put out 1 8, occasionally 2 8s. We managed to put out 2 8s at AYC, but you get the point, right? We're pulling from about 20 guys. So this was a great experiment for us to see, especially our younger men, to see how competitive it is and have something to shoot for. Because even though we didn't walk away with any medals, we rode some respectable races in terms of times and splits. So that's the reason I wanted to compile this slide, because I think that with all of our up-and-coming rowers in the pipeline, we need to keep doing this. We need to really focus on it and squeeze these times. Just like 2K times, we can squeeze these times as well. So it was a great experiment. I have no regrets. Todd and I enjoyed watching it, and we did see some decent rowing for sure out on that race course this year. So that was a huge positive. Definitely worth doing. I put this together because medals are a physical indicator of success, right? Coach Todd and I have lots of other things that we look at, discipline, leadership, teamwork, those kind of things, effort level, how you treat practice. We look at lots and lots of things aside from, did you get a medal? I think as was evidenced from the prior slide, you can row very well and make excellent progress and not get a medal. So when he and I stand on that beach and watch you row past, that's what we're looking at. If we have a lightweight boat that is rowing well together and is actually getting a decently early connection and everyone's catching and finishing together and bodies are swinging the way they're supposed to be, we're not lamenting that you're in 4th or 5th place if you are. What we're excited to see is progress, and that's what should excite you as well. So we did bring in a decent amount of medals this year, and certainly this is way better than circling up at the end of the regatta with just 1 or 2 medals. I mean, we had to do that a couple times. AYC, once again, for 2 years in a row, was smashed by weather, but in the main, it was a good year. In this regard, medal counts. Now, again, as I mentioned before, Coach Todd and I found it to be a good year on a lot of other fronts. We're moving in the right direction. And so we like that. Those changes that we make, those things that we focus on, do yield success on the race course. So it was a good year. Kudos. For those of you who didn't get medals, it doesn't mean that you didn't improve dramatically. A lot of it could be the events that you're forced to row in. So certainly don't sweat that. Plenty of medals in your future if you're going to continue rowing. I wanted to put together a slide for sculling state championships primarily because it was the best overall performance for our program in its history. So, we only had 10 events that we entered, and we went to grand finals in 5 of them. We had respectable performances in all of our finals. So it was just a great overall regatta for us. And I know you all know what the highlights were. You were there. There was a lot of excellent racing. We did get our first medal, Brooke did, at states. While there was a medal last year at regionals, this was our first medal at states. So really awesome performance. So I wanted to just note how that went. And we had a couple of kids that really pushed through injury and sickness at this regatta. So, that kind of commitment is to be applauded as well. I mean, if you don't walk out of there with a medal, obviously only Brooke did, right? It's still extremely important to appreciate how well you guys showed. I mean, we're almost a fledgling program in that our program had to be revitalized. And so I think you guys can tell when you listen to the live streams and you listen to the announcers at these regattas, the things they say about us make it very clear that we're an up and coming crew and we're making a name for ourselves. So congratulations on that effort. That was an excellent showing. At sweepstakes, we actually had a great showing there as well. We didn't enter as many events, but we held our own and we did a great job. Our grand final in the women's pair was a big surprise, and when I say that, I hope none of you take this the wrong way, but our girls were so fast in practice and they put forth so much effort and were so well prepared that Todd and I were actually, for the first time ever, watching the race down by the medal stock. We were very confident, and they raced the way we expected them to race. What none of us expected was that all those other girls were going to be so wicked fast. We weren't ready for that. That was a hotly competitive race, and to be in that grand final at all was a huge accomplishment. So kudos to our girls. We had some exciting petite finals and sweeps, just like in state sculling. We had some very exciting petite finals. I mean, I think y'all remember Garrett in the single at sculling states. That was crazy, 50 more meters, and that would have been a totally different ball game. And our freshman 4+ pulled off the same thing. So lots of super duper high points. We had some boats that hadn't rowed together at all or for more than just a few times that came out and gave it their best effort and had some respectable results. So sweepstakes was a good outing as well. We had a lot of program firsts. Lightweights, we raced lightweights this year for the first time. Coach Todd and I always discussed about whether or not to use the lightweight category. And this year we decided, you know what, let's get everybody in the system and qualified to race lightweight so we have the option. And in the end we used it a lot and we had some success in lightweight racing. So it was a good decision and we'll continue it for next year. Middle school quads, we have never been able to put together a middle school quad. So we did it twice this year and both of those races were exciting and resulted in silver medals. We already talked about the first varsity 8 for the men. What I didn't mention, but was on the men's 8 saga slide, was that our U17 8 this year at AYC raced at like a 150 split and put together a great time. Now, did they come away with a medal? No, but U17, these are basically kids that are sophomores and younger. So really great showing. Getting our first medal, that was a first. Brooke getting that silver medal at States, that was hugely gratifying, I'm sure, for her and also for the program. Just like last year when Sophia got her medal at regionals, that was hugely gratifying for the program. Anytime you have a national qualifier, it's a huge deal. The fastest posted race times, this is just a fun little slide I wanted to put together to help you guys remember um, some real highlights based on size of boat. So, we have our fastest last on there for the men's varsity 8. And then we have, our U17 8. So fours and pairs, quads, doubles, singles, all of those. Those are mostly junior or varsity category boats. And then we have a special category for our freshmen, because our freshmen was a mixed bag, right? We had several middle schoolers who raced as freshmen. And our lightweights, we had a pretty big group of lightweights. For the first time ever, we put together a lightweight 8. So lots of firsts, lots of good progress. We're just going to squeeze these next year. And the message is the same as it's always been. Champions are built in practice. So we're going to continue doing the things that we did this year. We're going to continue working hard in practices. We're going to continue tightening the screw on discipline. And we're going to continue working with you to build leadership characteristics, to build character, to build discipline in all aspects, excellence on land, excellence in the boat. Those are the kind of things that are going to move us forward. What a lot of you probably aren't aware of is the fact that this program was basically facing extinction as recently as 2019. And I resurrected it from the ash heap and have been working ever since to try to bring structure, to try to bring good coaching, and to really build this program. Many of you know that we're also looking at moving to a new location in partnership with the city, inside the city park. All of these things have been huge. And a lot of time and effort and sweat equity has gone into trying to build this foundation. And we are building something incredible. I get emotional just thinking about it. We're building something amazing. And all of you are in on it at the ground floor. You guys are building it. You're making it great. You are putting the pieces in place. You're putting the bricks in the foundation of a program that is going to be well-known statewide. It is going to be a game changer for a number of youth in this community. So what you're doing now is pretty awesome, even if you don't realize it. And years from now, you'll look back and see what it is at that time and think, wow, I was in that at the ground floor. I was building the foundation of that, because you are. So this is the time for us all to celebrate our achievements, and to start getting ready to tighten the screw for next season, because we have nowhere to go but up. As Coach Todd always says, we have more great things to come. So enjoy your summer, do some off-season training, come back faster, better, with an awesome attitude, ready to throw down.